have you, mister?
Yeah. Give me some. That's what I call balls.
Hey, what's happening, man? You need some help?
This is an angel dust factory.
Angel dust.
But yeah, as you were saying before the Zoom meeting so rudely interrupted us.
As I was saying,
Oh, hi, Scooby-Doo.
you called it a legal comedy,
Yeah.
but they said they don't know how to write for a legal show.
It came out of their mouths. So it was
Apparently, they didn't know how to write for a comedy either.
right. Yeah, right. It's not even a comedy. Like, I get you want to subvert expectations and this and that and girl power and everything. And, but I don't get how, I don't get how people are misogynist or sexist that didn't want to watch this show. But I can pop in Hocus Pocus today and be entertained by those three women who are the witches so much that's a staple of my household every Halloween, that we got to watch Hocus Pocus every year. That sounds like a misogynist, or the fact that for the most part, Halle Bailey was really good at Storm for the most part. Like, could they did a little bit more of her background as an African goddess and everything? Yeah. But I think she did really well in that. Again, Miss Marvel, you would not think that a 45-year-old Irish man would have anything to connect with to a 16-year-old Muslim girl, a teenage girl. But I felt more of a connection to her than I did Jennifer Walters. And it's like, you would never
Yeah, I
think that.
did. I felt more of a connection.
Because I felt Kamala's confusion, her fear for her family, when she was amazed at some of the things that her family had done in the past, how strong her grandmother was. So when she's seen that, it made me realize when the first time I see my grandmother as a person and not as my grandmother. It reminded me of the first time I seen my mother as a woman and not just my mother. You know what I mean? Oh, these people are actually people and have their own feelings and everything and their own life. And I'm too busy shooing them away because I don't want to be bothered. We've all been there. And then when you realize how important that family is, the father was great. The mother was cute, like with her.
Yeah, they all played an important role.
Right. Even the big brother, he was the bridge. He probably was the one a lot to go to the parents and say, listen, America's different, man. Like,
yeah,
it's not growing up like
you gotta ease up a little bit. Like,
he was like, I came here early and you taught me the traditions and everything, but it's different even than when I came to America with you guys. You know what I mean? Because what was he, about 10 years older or something like that? Like, or
he's like 7 or 8 years older.
Old enough to get married. And I thought that was a cool little thing to see how the reception part was for the Muslim party wedding. I thought that was cool. I was like, oh wow, I never knew I thought their weddings were probably serious and everything. But look, man, they're cutting it up and cutting loose, and Muslim people are just like me.
Well, that's the thing. Our American brains have been washed to think that all Muslims are fucking
terrorists, terrorists, and no, I don't think Muslims are terrorists. I want to clear that out right now. But,
I use the term radicals.
Radicals.
I'm out of the woods.
Right. It just reminds me of that clip of George Bush of terrorist.
Yeah.
Relax. Those guys were terrorists. All these other people are just pretty much decent people trying to figure it out. And it's good to show that. And that's part of the reason why I like the show. It showed a different perspective of a teenager from a different background than I was growing up, and still having to deal with the same things with her family that I was dealing with at 16 years old, wanting independence, this, that, the other thing. And then also learning that they're their own people too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's why I hate when these people do this. They want to try to just say, you're just an incel or this or that when you don't like our show. There's this girl that runs a channel. Her name is, the name of the channel is Jane Theory. And
I've seen the show.
And she's I don't know how young she is. She sounds like she's maybe in her 20s. But a young black female didn't like the show. So is she, what is she, a Klans member or something? I mean, like how you try to say, is she a misogynist? Is she a racist? She's a racist against...
Yeah.
Why? What are you trying? Like, what can you say about her not liking the show? I mean, like, I don't get it. Like Star Wars girl, when she would crap on the Star Wars, what is she? That white middle, like that heterosexual white male sitting in his mom's basement.
Yeah.
No, that's not the only one complaining about these movies. It's dumb, and it's taken away the accountability that maybe you wrote a shoddy movie that it make any sense to anybody, and that they'd spend decades of their time
trying to fix that. Yeah.
I'll put it like this: how many years, literally, I'm not even going to ask how many hours. How many years and money have you poured into your love of, say, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or other properties that you loved? Probably a lot of money between getting the T-shirts, getting the coffee mug, getting the hat, getting stickers. Oh, I'll get that little Funko Pop. That's only $5.
Let me buy this cereal that I don't like because there's a toy inside of it.
Right. Let me get this Raisin Bran because it's got Baby Yoda inside of it.
I hate Wendy's, but they're selling a good toy this week.
All right. There's a lot of people.
If Burger King had the Star Wars shit, I would be at Burger King today.
All right. Exactly. And I just think that it's a poor cop-out when they throw these generalized statements in, and it's really a shame that happens like that, because it's okay if you didn't write a good movie. You should maybe listen to some people who knew what they were talking about, like Kevin Smith talking about how claimed he was the biggest He-Man fan, and I'm going to do He-Man great, and that bombed with a lot of He-Man fans, only to find out around that time that during interviews he was like, "Yeah, I hate He-Man. I didn't like He-Man," and I was like, "Oh, so you're like a liar and everything."
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
But then when people didn't like his He-Man, he started crying about it.
right. If you don't care about He-Man, what the fuck do you care how people look at your He-Man then? Like,
Yeah.
if you don't care about it, like, then don't care about it. And it really is a shame because I was like the biggest Kevin Smith fan. And it really
Yeah,
kind
so
of
was I. Like until when he started doing that,
like lying about stuff. And then there's this channel that he called out for basically telling the truth and never apologized to them. Clownfish TV.
Yep.
All they said was, we hear a rumor that the show's going to revolve around Tila. And he's like, oh, that would be great to get those ideas ahead of time. And the show revolved around Tila and had like basically no He-Man in it. And he never apologized to them. He never apologized to them about like, hey, listen, I kind of had to play it off like that's not what it was about. But now the show's out. I had to play it off, guys. I'm sorry.
Netflix also did him dirty too by releasing another separate He-Man show at the same time that actually had to do with He-Man.
Right. So that fits perfectly to our subject of like even He-Man, who's lasted so long, can be a victim of like underused. And He-Man was a show. I don't want to hear about again diversity this or whatever. Yeah, there's mad characters in it, and every episode he had someone helping him out. It wasn't always He-Man doing things by himself. Tila would help him out. Man at Arms would help him out. All these different characters. And what diversity, like when they say even diversity in Star Wars, right? Are you really expecting to go to a galaxy, say 50,000 light years away, that you can get in there in about 5 days? Are you expecting Mexicans to be there on that planet? Are you expecting black people and white people on that planet? Or are you expecting maybe like people that are blue, purple, or look completely different than us? And are you going to go on that planet and say, why are there no Mexicans on this planet? Why?
That's the most absurd shit I ever heard from like Star Wars fans. It's like, you understand that your whole shit is based on fucking creatures that don't look nothing like each other.
Right.
Remind like looking like something that doesn't belong on like our planet. Like you go into any fucking place in the Star Wars universe, and you got like maybe 2% of the population looks human like.
Right. Yeah, they look like right. It's like it really is fucking mind.
But then it's like out of that 2% of human looking creatures, let's just say, because they're not really from Earth either, because they're in another galaxy.
And they could be from a completely different planet that has
human-looking
creatures.
Out of the 2% that's in every fucking Star Wars movie, you're gonna get mad because a fraction of that 2% isn't white
or black or Asian or Mexican or Latin. Yeah. It makes no sense. It totally makes no sense. That even if you look thinking of the logic within that universe, they never once even mention Earth, period. Earth is never mentioned as a planet.
Bro, we've had fucking...
There's Alderaan, Tatooine.
30 fucking iterations of Star Trek. And not once was anyone like, oh, there's a black guy. Or, why is the Asian guy this? Why is this guy that? And they've had more diversity as far as like people, like humans,
And
on those shows.
thank you. Yes, Star Trek, even though I'm not vastly familiar with all the knowledge of Star Trek the way I am with certain other things, I do know a lot of different things to where you're right. The original Star Trek was so diverse because it was kind of commenting on the current climate of the time. Oh, there's problems with black people. Let's throw a black person on the show just to show
You
no
had
problem. A Russian guy, an Asian guy, this guy, that guy, where it was like everyone's competent at their jobs. What's the problem here? You know, that Star Trek, who people say there's not enough diversity in, technically has the honor of having the first interracial kiss in television history ever. You can never not get the first
man.
of that ever.
When Sulu kissed Bones, bro, I was like, what?
I was like, whoa! I hope they do the double Dutchman.
What? And then Scotty was like, oh my lord.
Oh, shake me to my bones, Timber.
Why do I have to walk in on this?
I'm only a doctor, damn it. You know, like, but not diverse enough. Not diverse enough. That William Shatner took a big shot at doing that because black people are still not very finally looked at that point in time, even though we still kind of were getting to the point of, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, as a nation, like, come here, guys, come here. What are we doing? You know, but yeah, that it's so not diverse that you had a white man kissing a black woman on TV
but
for the first
just
time
the
ever.
fact that over the last 50, 60 years that Star Trek's been around, it's been around at least 20 years longer than Star Wars.
Yeah.
And when did you really ever hear anyone be in an uproar about a character in Star Trek not being a certain type?
Right, a certain,
you know,
kicking boxes off. Let's just keep it at that way, I guess.
Why you never heard? Oh, why does this character a woman, or why is that character not of a certain race?
It was as the missions were going on. Oh, you know that Zulu. He's pretty competent, man. That he saved the day. Or Alora, man. She's more than just a good looking face, man. She figured that shit out, man. You know what I mean? Like, they gave him things to actually do to save the day that fit within the criteria of their background. You know, she was a code breaker, basically. Yeah. She was breaking languages. She was a linguistics, basically. Like, I mean, you know, I just never get there's never diversity ever in anything. And it's like, you must just have started watching television today then, and is only watching Full House or Friends.
Besides that, like, you get these people who, well, that's how this character's always been portrayed. Because that character's fucking 100 years old, dude.
Right.
100 years ago, they weren't even letting women play women roles 100 years ago. They had some fucking dude dress up as a fucking chick because women weren't allowed to be actors and shit. Or it wouldn't allow fucking black people in the movie at all. They'd fucking paint a fucking white guy black and thought that was cool. Like, that they allowed to do that.
You beat me to the punch on that. Like, so it came a long way. I even showed Chrissy some old school commercials last night of how crazy the world really was, or like how open things were back then. That there's commercials from the 50s or 60s of husbands telling their wife how horrible their coffee is. And it's like, no, I'll just, this one guy was like, hon, your coffee's horrible. I'm going to go down and drink it at the plant. And I was like, that's so horrible if you think about it, that he'd rather go to a dirty plant with dirty men and drink that dirty ass coffee pot instead of coffee from his own clean house. How bad is that coffee? Like, Jesus Christ! Like,
Well, they cut the camera off before they saw the coffee pot go upside her head.
right?
I'm
Because
going to the plant because I'm about to break this pot over your head, you fucking non-coffee ass bacon bitch.
and some real homes that probably fucking happened, and it's so sad, man, that the way they went about that, man. There's even a Flintstones commercial of Barney
With cigarettes.
with the cigarettes as the wives are doing all the house chores, and it's like,
Wilma, grab me my Lucky Strikes.
I mean, we even joked about that picture I had as my profile picture of that kid and his grandmother or whatever giving him the can of beer.
Yeah.
That was real life, bro. Like, that was my real life too. Like, I had uncles go, come here, and drink this.
Yep.
And then it turned me into a goddamn alcoholic at 8 years old, man. Like, come on. I wonder why I'm an alcoholic. But yeah, I just never got the non-diverse. Like, it's all white men. White men are taking over the world, and then if you kind of play the reverse role a little bit, which I'm not saying I have a problem with this. I just think it's funny when I hear this view. Well, if we're talking so much about diversity, the Black Panther movie shouldn't be 98% black actors then, because that's not diverse. It's not diverse enough. Where's the white people?
They had the fucking
Yeah.
barn.
Yeah. Where's the white people?
They had
Black
Bucky
Panther.
Barnes. What are you
Where
talking
are they?
about?
Where are they? It's not
They had
diverse
Bucky
enough.
Barnes. They had
98%.
fucking Ulysses Claw. They had the fucking colonizer.
Right. They even had to name one of the three white people the colonizer. Like, come on. No, I mean, listen, I get it. I joke. I thought that was funny when I heard that someone say that the other day. Oh, all this diversity talk, but the Black Panther cast is 98% black. How's that diverse? And I get what they were saying. He's not really meaning like flood the whole movie with white people, but you can't say that this movie is not diverse when you have this movie that's kind of not diverse also because of the story that it involves.
That's like complaining about the movie Black Klansman and not really knowing what the movie was about.
Right.
What do you mean Black Klansman? How are they gonna have a black man be in the Klan? Did you watch the movie? No, fuck that movie. How you gonna have a black man be in the Klan?
You know, and the perfect. And see, here's how I took it, because the first question was, how the hell are they making a black man a Klansman? But I was like, that is so intriguing. I want to see that, how they play that out. Until then, I found out it's based off of a real story.
Yeah, it's a real story, like a detective.
And little do they know. Well, I'm not going to say little do they know, but yeah, the agent was black that was on the phone, and Adam Driver goes in person to be the guy. But
And he's Jewish.
I was going to say this guy's a Jew, so you're really sticking two guys into a case that if they get caught, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good, you know? And that movie was pulled off so fantastically, and it was so eye-opening how it was really a dig at how stupid racism really is. That they got taken down by a black man and a Jewish man, combining their forces to become the Black Klansman. I thought that was like, that's so clever and so innovative, even from a governmental stand, that I would be sitting in jail today myself like, God damn, that was good. They got me good. They got me
Damn.
good. I was
I'll
thinking,
get you.
I'll get you, yeah, Cletus. Like,
If it wasn't for you meddling Klansmen.
if it wasn't for you meddling Klansmen in this, whatever that dog is over there, is he really talking? But yeah,
Why is he talking?
I thought that movie was great, man. I thought that movie was very well put together. And it really does, again, show you the stupidity of people when they hear a certain name or a certain thing, that they're just not going to give it a shot. They're not going to, like, make up your own mind whether you like something or not. I mean, yeah, some things you're going to know you don't like right off the bat.
Pull yourself out of like any predisposed thought you might have on something and just watch it for the content. Watch it for what it is.
Right.
And if it's shit, it's shit. I mean, you can't just don't pretend to like something you don't like, but at least watch it for what it is, not what your prejudice against.
Right. Like Jordan and I, when we were talking about She-Hulk, he really liked it, and he thought it was like just a fantastic show and everything. And I said to him, yeah, there's certain parts I thought were good. There's certain parts I felt like with Jen was good. Just wasn't meant for me, just not for me or whatever like that. And
I think
he was confused about like how when I said she didn't take any accountability for anything. I was like, she could have killed Matt even when she threw that car at him. You taking someone else's property, their $200,000 car, and you throwing it at a human being to stop him from running, and you could have killed that man. And he's like, oh, well, the Avengers, he was like, the Avengers do this and that. I was like, yeah, against Ultron, not against someone chasing Leapfrog.
Well, there's two answers for that, actually. Number one, Bruce did it because he couldn't control himself at the time. Once he turned into the Hulk, he was uncontrollable.
Right.
Number two, the Avengers eventually did have to be accountable.
I did say they made the Sokovia Accords to make them accountable for their actions. They didn't do that with Jen. And not for nothing, I go and file this insurance claim, and they're not going to pay that because I don't have superhero fight insurance.
Yeah.
Is Jen paying for that? Who's paying for that?
Well, she's a broke lawyer, so she ain't paying for it.
And then if I sue your law firm because you don't know how to control your employees, I wonder how long that will last. You know what I mean? Like, I just was like, that was no account. That situation was no accountability. She never once said Bruce was right. I didn't know how to control this, and people will come after me. None of that. She could have threw that car and killed Daredevil right then and there.
She stepped outside of reality and changed the story.
Changed her own story.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic that you're able to do that. You're a strong, independent woman that don't need no mans, and that's great. But I'm not sure how much more screen time she's going to get in any future type of projects. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they're going to probably put her in an Avengers movie or two, but she's going to go probably the way of Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, where they were going to build everything around Brie Larson and realized, oh, wait, nah, that's not a good idea because we chose the wrong actors for this. Yeah, we chose the wrong, because even if you look at Don Cheadle, Jeremy Renner, Chris Hemsworth with her, they're all kind of like
another underused character is Maria Rambeau.
Right. Maria Rambeau, Monica Rambeau. I'm more excited for those characters well, Monica more so now.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for her and Kamala than I am about Brie Larson. And you really know they're backtracking when Brie's not even the star of her own movie anymore.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
when they're like, we got to create more Marvels to fucking dilute this fucking bitch.
because she is, I mean, just the expression on her face all the time is just wonderful. That same expression of boredom, whether you're going through a good time or a bad time, or it's why is it keeps want me to buy this goddamn Zoom. That's what the problem is here. They're gonna try to cut me off in 10 minutes.
We are a fucking broke ass fucking channel, and that we're public access. We're not fucking.
Right.
We're not ABC or CBS.
Well, we got 9 minutes left, and I'll give you the floor because I know I chatted away a lot here, and I didn't really let you get too much into anything. But any other characters that you feel like could have did a little bit more for themselves?
Like I said, I don't want to shit on the X-Men franchise. I'm just gonna throw them all in fucking one big pile. You got fucking Gambit, you got Psylocke, you got fucking Banshee, you got fucking Archangel, you got Storm, you got Apocalypse,
Darwin.
You got Darwin. You have Magneto. They didn't do him well in those fucking Fassbender movies.
No. And it's a shame that Fassbender's a great actor too. So
you had fucking Kitty Pryde.
Right.
You had Rogue.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah. Well, even the Days of Future Past, those characters.
Bishop,
were there to
Blink.
push the plot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was totally. Yeah, it was bad.
There's so many characters in that franchise that you wanted. Colossus, that you wanted to see more of.
Right, and then they don't even really do much.
Nightcrawler, Iceman,
Sunfire. Sunfire technically was in it.
Sunfire.
Multiple Man.
Then you have the fucking
the White Queen. The White Queen. Hammer Frost.
Like those characters too, like Sebastian Shaw and
them, the Hellfire Club, yeah. Azazel. They could have did a lot with that, but it's
then you have another character I would say is Lex Luthor in the Snyderverse.
Actually, yeah, that could have been a little bit more. I don't know what Eisenberg was. Eisenberg, is that his name? Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was trying to portray with Lex Luthor.
He was more Lex Luthor in like the post credits than he was in the actual Superman movie. Like,
yeah, I don't get the whole Lex Luthor's like not a jittery. He's not like, hey guys, like he's not that guy. He's hello, Mr. Mr. Kent. I know you're Superman, motherfucker.
He seems more like the Riddler than he did seem Lex Luthor.
Yeah, the Riddler. Yeah, he could have been Enigma, and it would have been better. Actually, it would have been like, all right, well, at least they're doing a character that. Because I even expect Lex Luthor to be a little older and a little bit beefier.
Yeah,
like he's not. Lex Luthor's not fat, but it looks like he works.
Well, they're
out.
trying to say that Eisenberg was Lex Luthor Jr. That's where they were going with that. He was Luthor's son, not actual Lex Luthor.
They should have made that a little bit more clear. Then have a portrait of his father in the office. Where you can kind of be like, he's trying to.
He's like Lex Jr.
Yeah, Right.
Um,
Dumb.
Deadpool, the Deadpool X Factor
Yeah.
or X Force.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? Shatterstar,
Shatterstar. Dave or something,
Dave, Vanishing Man.
which is Brad Pitt, by the
That's
way.
it.
Domino.
Yeah.
I think Domino was okay. I mean, you can't. I mean, how can you really show luck powers other than how they showed them?
No, she was good. I liked her in that movie.
I wasn't big on the that dude's character, the kid. Like it was okay.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know who he was supposed to be.
Fire Fist.
All right, yeah. Cable, Josh Brolin was okay. All right. He did better as Thanos, I think.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, there's a lot out there, man. A lot out there. And
Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern was misused.
oh my god.
Um,
Yes. Blade Trinity was kind of shit show in certain ways. I mean, vampire dogs, man. That's where it's popping. That's where it's popping on the streets.
circle back around to She-Hulk. They did my boy Matt Murdock dirty too.
They did. They did. And
I don't know about the golden suit either.
I could deal with the golden suit a little bit, but the whole walk of shame, man. Like,
That kind of
okay.
I understand that they don't want to make it as dark as the Netflix series, but they were also saying they don't want to like kill the whole vibe. But that golden suit kind of like took him out of being really dark. Like,
and we got a couple, like about 3 more minutes on this thing here.
Yeah.
The one thing that killed me, they were so big on that hallway scene with Daredevil and She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it trash, but the major difference between the hallway scene in the Daredevil show and the hallway scene here is the She-Hulk version, there's like 50 different cuts. There's this cut, that cut. That Daredevil hallway scene, the reason why it was so iconic was that it was one continuous shot.
Yeah.
That's why it was iconic. This, you're just doing 50 different shots, and it's like, for 5 seconds of him doing something, you need 50 cuts.
That's the same thing with the fucking Luke Cage one too. The Luke Cage fight scene.
One continuous boom, 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 boom. Like it was.
And then when they did cut though, they cut to the security camera. They didn't cut to like another scene.
Right. So it's still kind of like a continuous.
Yeah.
You're still seeing them come at you.
Yeah.
Any last ones before the my free 2 minutes of Zoom is up?
Yeah. Everybody in the first Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Half the guys in the second Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
And the Fantastic Four in every movie.
I actually I had that in my book. Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four movies were the only highlight for the Fantastic Four movies was Michael Chiklis as the Thing. I thought that was perfect casting. And if you tried to do CGI, it would have looked weird, but the rubber suit kind of looked weird too. There's got to be a good thing for Ben Grimm somewhere in between.
Bill Goldberg.
Yes. Actually, I could see him being the Thing. And you can kind of... The technology is good enough now where you can kind of get it going with him. We got less than a minute here. Any last shout outs for for these characters. I'm trying to think.
Black Adam's out. What do you think? Black Adam's out. What do you think? Going to see it?
Yeah, I would want to go see it. I want to see it. I have faith in The Rock's love for the Black Adam, and that's the only thing that's carrying hope for me in this movie.
Namor, true villain or anti-hero?
Who, Black Adam?
No, Namor.
Oh, Namor? I think he's going to be the anti-hero. I think he's going to be full on, I'll help the world, but there's something in it for me.
Thanks, Howard. I'm going in for Stinger. You take care of these jokers out here.